Kakadosh, Boker Tov, Shavua Tov. I wanted to share with the Kahal a beautiful idea, which I actually saw brought down as follows. There was a story which is connected to this week's Parashat. It was a young child. He used to live on a remote farm, and every single morning he used to wake up already when it was dawn in order to work in the field. But however, though, once it came very close to sunrise, every single time he used to stop his work, climb the fence, and he used to just watch as the sun rises on the horizon. But every single time he used to do this, it was incredible. He used to see far in the distance, he used to see a beautiful house. And in the house, it had windows which were actually out of gold. And he was looking, and he was with his imagination. He said, wow, what a house. Imagine if a person lives in a house where the windows are made out of gold. So imagine how the house looks like. Imagine what's in the house, the furniture, what's inside of it. So obviously what's going to happen is that he's going to be amazed. So again, all of a sudden he starts getting older. And he always says to himself that one day I want to go and I want to visit, I want to see this beautiful house. So he starts becoming older. And his father asks him, listen, do me a favor, I need you to go to the city and I want you to go to the marketplace and to buy for me some things, sell for me some things, here it is. He says, perfect. He says, I've got the golden opportunity to come and to fulfill the dream that I had to see this house with the golden windows. He starts on his path, he starts traveling. It's very going up the hills, down the hills, through the different towns, finally gets to the marketplace, but he's got a lot of work to do. So he doesn't have time to go right now. So he goes quickly, he does what his father tells him, and he realizes that he's trying to finish what his father told him, but it's getting late. He says, okay, listen, I have to go. It's already almost getting sunset. So he comes and finally finishes what his father tells him to do, and he starts running to get to this place. When he gets there, finally, what happens is that he's astonished. He sees this old run down barn. It looks like a house. No golden windows, no nothing, right? The fence is all broken. He's like, I'm in the wrong place. So he comes and he knocks on the door. And when he knocks on the door, he wants to see what's going to happen. Opens up a girl that's his age. So he asks her, listen, I'm sorry, but can you just show me where this house is with golden windows? She says, for sure. She comes and she takes him to the porch. And in the porch, she comes and she shows him, far away in the distance, a house with golden windows. But all of a sudden, he looks closely and he realizes, 1 second. When he's looking, he sees the sun setting in the opposite direction. But when he sees from afar, he sees that it's his barn. It's his house. And it has golden windows. And all of a sudden he's astonished. He doesn't understand what hit him. Until we realize that really be'emet, now we understand what it is. Many times in life, we come and the musar that we have to teach to ourselves is that many times in life we come and we see things which are far away and we see that they're beautiful and everything's surrounding them and it's all gold and the life which is far away is all incredible. We don't realize that many times not everything which glitters, not everything that has a sparks is actually gold. Many times we come and we always think that the person on the other side has golden windows and we don't realize the golden windows are actually that we have within ourselves. But we're always looking towards other people. And that's why we come and we say that everything has nothing to do with what happens on the other side. It has to do with what we're thinking in ourselves. Because if a person always thinks that the grass is greener on the other side, start focusing on our own grass. Start focusing on our own attributes and our own talents. And we'll realize, be'emet, the grass is just as green. And really, be'emet, it's even greener. We thought that it was much nicer on the other side. and life in our situation is the most beautiful on our side. Now, even though it's a beautiful message and a beautiful story, Kam Chachamim, and they say, how is this connected to us? How is this connected to our parasha? So in Parashat Tazria, Tahara, Tazria Mitzorah, they both speak about a common denominator. I mean, sometimes we read it separately, like last year, one parasha and then another parasha when it's a leap year, or other years like this year, we're going to read it together. However, though, how does it come and speak to us? The common denominator between both is that they both speak about tzaraat. They both speak about negaim, leprosy. Parashat Tazria speaks about the leprosy which comes upon a human being, and Parashat Mitzorah speaks about the leprosy which befalls upon our houses. In Kam Chachamim, and they say that even though nowadays we do not have this concept, which means nowadays we don't have the Parashat of Mitzorah anymore. We don't have leprosy, but it still applies to every single one of us. How does it apply to every single one of us? Especially because the Gemara in Sanhedrin, the final of Amud Aleph says, Baita minugad, a house with leprosy, lo haya velo atid liot, it never actually happened. So why do we is written down in the Torah? To accept a reward, for us to learn from it. And the question that we ask ourselves is, okay, what are we going to learn? So in order to understand this, let's start. In the beginning of the Parashat of Tazria, when we speak about the negaim, the tzarat that befalls upon a human being, why does it come? It says, you know why? Let's look at what it is. The mitzorah, how does it become purified? To purify the mitzorah, he comes and he's commanded to take two birds. When they come, which are live birds, he takes a cedar tree, a hyssop, and then again, we're talking about also crimson. And Rashi explains, why does he take the birds? He says, you know why he takes the birds? He says, because he did an action of pitputei devarim. He did an action of Twitter. He did an action of speaking, of chirping away. And therefore, he has to remember what it is, the concept of birds, that they're always chirping. So therefore, and that's why, if you think about it, did you ever realize, why did Twitter use a bird? It was much more appropriate that Twitter, the bird, than even Facebook with an F. It says, you know why? The Twitter with the bird is what it is. It's actually a pasuk, right? It says in the pasuk, Ki of hashamayim yolichet hakol uval kenafayim yagid dovar. Of hashamayim yiten hakol. Who told me a little bird? Why? It's a pasuk. Of hashamayim, the birds in the firmament, they're going to come, they're going to spread the word. Ubal kenafayim, and the ones that they have wings. Is again, with the Twitter, what they have, the wings spread out. And we actually just learned in Daf Yomi also the concept of the wings, that the wings are supposed to protect the person. But the wings here were used in a negative fashion to come and spread Lashon Hara. So what happens? He has to bring an etz erez, cedar tree. Why does it come? Because of the Lashon Hara, because of haughtiness. Why does haughtiness come? What does it have to do with it? Negaim come, leprosy comes because of Lashon Hara and gavav, haughtiness. Why? We come and we see something that we saw by the next person. And we thought it was beautiful. We thought that it had golden windows. And we become jealous and we start becoming problematic. How could it be that I don't have it? So what do? We come and we bring them down. We have to bring them down. We have to come and say negative things about them. So we become haughty and then we bring them down. So what does Chazal come and tell us? He has to do the teshuvah. We all of a sudden have to bring the crimson wool, the crimson, right? And the hyssop, because that's anava. That shows us that we have to become humble. So that's a beautiful concept to do with the negaim on the human being. Now let's go turn the page to the next parasha. What about the negaim which come on a human being? It's not a kapara. It's not a punishment. By the mitzorah, the tzarat, the leprosy which comes on a human being, it's a punishment. And therefore we need an atonement. Say Chachamim. The Midrash Rabbah comes and it says, when leprosy comes on a house, it's a present. It's a matana to Am Yisrael. How could it be a matana? The Pasuk says, when you're going to come to the land of Canaan, I'm going to come and give you a negat sarat, leprosy in the house. And then what's going to happen? Says the Rabbi Yehuda says, it's a good thing. Asks Rabbi Chia, is it a good thing that all of a sudden you're going to have sarat? Answers Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he says, no. Once the Canaanim heard that Bnei Israel are going to come to the land, they hid all the treasures in the houses. They didn't want them to find treasures. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes and he says, 1 second. I already said when you're going to come into Israel, you're going to come into a land and it's going to be filled with all the best of the land. Ubatim meleim kol tuv, houses filled with all the best in the world. So he says, how am I going to do that? It's very simple. I'm going to put sarat in your house. You're going to have to start destroying the house. And all of a sudden I see that you find treasures. You're going to find incredible treasures. So Kam Chachamim, and they say, 1 second. We have a few things that we have to understand. Number one, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu already promised us riches, he couldn't do it another way. We have to destroying the houses? What's going on? Right? What does that mean exactly? And therefore he comes and he says something beautiful. Say Chachamim, an incredible yisod. Say, you know what the hint is? This is a hint to ourselves when sometimes we have something which is called anava psula, an improper, right? Or an inappropriate type of humbleness. What does that mean? Every single human being has hidden within inside of us a talents, and we have within us a lot of energy and things which we don't even realize about. And we come and we say to ourselves, we can't do these things, whether it is in teaching Torah to other people, because everyone could teach Torah to other people. It doesn't have to be the biggest of the rabbis, or whether it's teaching, whether it's either to our children, or whether it's doing chesed to other people towards. And what happens is that all of a sudden, we come to ourselves and we say to ourselves, it's not for us. So this is the hint that was written. Inside of our houses, inside of us, what happens is we have many things which are hidden. HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes and he says, break down the barriers, break down the walls in order to see what's the hidden gems which are within us. Because we have them inside of us. We just have to open it up and see it. It's all in the eye of the beholder, right? Everything has to do with how we look at things. So therefore, in this case, we're using the anava, we're using the humbleness in a negative form. We're using it to our detriment. That instead of using it to positively come and construct the world and to build, we think that we're building. We have a beautiful house, but we have to destroy the house, to get it out, to make the light come outside instead of only inside of us. And that's what was teaching us. You have to take down the bricks, take down everything. And you have to take it out so that way you should have an influence on other people as well. And therefore a person has to remember, where do we come from? Even though the Gemara says that we have 3 partners in a human being, a father, a mother, and a HaKadosh Baruch Hu put a neshama. The neshama is Tahara, is pure. And nobody could fulfill the mission that we are supposed to do. And every single Jew has the potential and the talent to give out to everyone else. However, though, comes the Amuraim, the Canaanim, and they hid this in the house. They hid the treasures in the houses. That's the Kochot HaTumah. And sometimes we have to realize the opposite. Because Kam Chachamim, they ask a very simple question. I understand that if you're going to have a process to purify, we have to show the process of humbleness, which is the process of the hyssop and the crimson. But why the cedar? Why the tallest of the trees, the highest and the strongest? Why? Kam Chachamim, they say sometimes we do need to be haughty. What does that mean? Sometimes we have to come and we have to show that we are happy with what we have. We are the greatest. We have a chelek melokam imal. And look, we could teach to other people. We are able to do chesed with other people. We have the possibility and we have the talents and we have everything. We are capable of doing it. That's what we're supposed to do. But now all of a sudden we come and let us focus something on even more beautiful. Why is it that we bring 2 birds? Why 2 birds? 1 bird is enough. We already spoke about why do we have birds. But why 2 birds? 1 bird is enough. But all of a sudden, what do? Something incredible. We don't slaughter both birds. We slaughter 1 bird, And then the other bird, we send it out. We make it fly away. What are we doing exactly? So the Admor of Belz comes and he says a beautiful yesod. He says you should know the sin of Lashon Hara is twofold. And just like that's the explanation we say, if I remember correctly, whether it's the Chavetz Chaim in the name of the Gaon or others, that we are going to be punished on din v'cheshbon. We have to give in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu a calculation. What does it mean, din v'cheshbon? A calculations of what? Say Chachamim, they say no. The time that we spoke Lashon Hara, it was a sin of Lashon Hara, 100%. That was negative. But there was another sin. During that time that we spoke Lashon Hara, we could have spoken Divrei Torah, we could have spoken Musar, we could have spoken about Tehillim, Tfilah, and we didn't do that. So now all of a sudden, we are going to be punished twofold, just like on the Avirah, and the fact that during the time of the Avirah, when we sinned, we could have done a mitzvah. So now come Chachamim and they say, what's going on now? So now we need two birds. The first bird is as atonement. We spoke Lashon Hara, take off its head. You have to kill it as an atonement. Don't speak Lashon Hara, stop it. Stop whether it's of the infiltrating in the world and bringing it, whether it's of Twitter and speaking Lashon Hara and spreading it. Don't do those things. But now there's a second yesod. The second yesod is the second bird. What about all the Torah, the Tfilah, everything, the Musar that we could have been spoken at the same time? Say Chachamim, what you're supposed to do is take this bird and let it fly. Let it go, right? Let it go out. Let it spread. So when we can continue, we should spread the words of the Torah, of everything that we have around us. That's important of what we're supposed to do. And therefore, Kam Chachamim, and they say that it is so important for us to understand this. Of everything that we learn from the Parashat, Tazria, Tahara, the ways of the Metzorah, comes now to B'Shimon Bar Yochai and he says, another interesting yesod. The Gemara Nerechin says, Tetzayin Amud Aleph, that Nigeh Batim, the leprosy in the houses, comes because of the punishment of Gezel, of stealing, and Tzarut Ayin, with our eyes being stingy on other people. Comes now according to what we just said, and now it's beautiful. When we come and we don't let out the light, the gems that we have inside of us to teach to other people, to spread forth, whether it's Torah, Yirat Shamayim, Musar, doing chesed with other people, we are stealing from the public. We are stealing from everybody. And that's what's called Nigeh Batim. That's what we're going to have leprosy within our own house. And the same thing with Tzarutayin. Our eyes are stingy. Because if we would have a good eye, we would try to teach everybody. If you know Aleph Bet, you could teach Aleph Bet. If you could know anything that you could do, you could teach to other people. So why don't we fulfill that? Why don't we do that? And that's why it's so important to realize that that's why the Nigeh Batim. So now we have to break the walls. We have to break everything down. And now I think it's actually something beautiful. Because if we're just going to give a quick summary, now everything makes sense. And we could truly apply it to what we have nowadays. Nowadays, during the time of this virus, that it should speedily go away, you have a lot of time for self-introspect. We realize that, you know what? Let us focus inside the house. Let us see how beautiful it is. The beautiful family that we have, the beautiful house that we have. And all of a sudden, when we bring the light, which is the light of the sun, this sun, which is the light of Torah, the light of Yirat Shamayim, which is going to come upon us, we're going to see that all our windows are golden. We're going to see that everything. Then we're not going to start focusing on what's going on the other side, because we thought that it was beautiful. We thought that it was golden, that it shined forth. It illuminates, but it's not true. It illuminates from within. But now let's break the barriers, break down the walls, open up, show that we have Nigeh Batim. It's a matana, it's a present to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have the biggest present that now we can start focusing from within. See how much jewels we have within us, how much talents, how much we're capable of. I told somebody, I called him up and I told him, I miss you. I don't see you on the Zoom for tefillot. Where are you? So he comes and he tells me, Rabbi, I'm being selfish. I tell him, listen, once in a while you're allowed to be selfish, but explain why. So he told me, I never paid attention whether it's to the tefillah of korbanot. I used to say tefillah very quick. I would come to minyan late. All of a sudden, I come and I sit down and I don't want to be by the screen. I want to sit myself down and take all my time in the world. I can say korbanot properly. I could say tefillah. I don't have to rush to minyan, right? Even if I'm going to be late, I don't have to skip out parts of tefillah. I'm able to daven, I'm able to say tefillah like a ben adam, like a human being. I went and I told him, you know what, you're right. For you, 100%. I don't want you to come on the Zoom minyan then. For other people, we need a structure, we need to be on there. And that's very important because we need to be Sfirat HaOmer, which is another shiur in itself. We have to be clean, we have to be fixed every single day at the same time. Shachri, Mincha, Arvit, learning. Because if we're not, we become in chaos when it's going to be chaotic, when we don't have a schedule. However, I said, for you, you're right in being selfish. You're right, 100%. Continue doing that. Find the gems within you. And he said, if there's one lesson that I have to learn, it's a Bezrat Hashem. When we come back to the tefillot, I'm going to appreciate, I'm going to take my time in it. That's what I learned from this. And Kama Chachamim, and they say, this is what we're supposed to do now. Self-introspect. Look at within us, the beautiful gems that we have. Look at our children. Take out the beauty in every single one of them. See and realize and make it nurture, make it grow. And I just wanted to finish off with a beautiful saying that I once heard. Every single Jew has in their pockets 2 different letters, 2 different pieces of paper. One piece of paper says, Anochi afar va'efer, I am nothing. Another piece of paper comes and it says, Ani chelek melokah mimal. I have a neshama teorah, bishli nivra olam. For me, the world was created. The problem is, how do we use these 2 pieces of paper? Many times in life, we misuse them in the wrong times. And all of a sudden, when somebody speaks against us, or somebody didn't give us the proper respect or kavod, we jump up. Do you know who I am? You know my family is? You know what this is going? How dare you? Who do you think you are? And we continue going. And all of a sudden, when we come and we have the chance of learning more Torah, disseminating more Torah, whether doing more chesed, all of a sudden, who am I? Torah is for the rabbis. Torah is for this, for avrechim, for people to learn. I don't understand. I don't know. I have no time for chesed. Anochi afar va'efer. Say Chachamim, it's supposed to be the exact opposite. And that's what the Mitzvah was trying to teach us. Trying to teach us when to use the haughtiness and when to be humble. Many of us use this humble, which is impure, a humble, which is incorrect. It's improper, and it's a mistake. And really, Be'emet, in those situations, we were supposed to be haughty. We were supposed to be able to do the chesed, to teach the Torah, to show everybody. I am haughty in my service of Hashem. I'm not embarrassed in what I'm doing. I'm serving my Creator. I'm happy with what I'm doing. However, though, we have to realize when to use the 2 pieces of paper. When they insult us and they don't give us shishi or the haftarah or whatever it is, then anochi afar ve'efer. My soul should be like afar, that they trample upon me. And that's what we say every single day of Amidah. They should be able to trample upon us. And still nothing. It doesn't have effect on us. We shouldn't fight out. However, though, to do it Torah nirat shamayim, ani chelek melokah mimal. I have a neshama teorah. For me, the world was created. Let me try to disseminate Torah. Let me try to teach to everybody. Bezrat Hashem, in this merit, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give us tons of negaim in the houses to see the beauty that we have, of the beauty that we have all around us. And that's the purpose of what's happening now, to do quarantine, to bring us into our houses, to see what we have, to appreciate. And Bezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should then afterwards show us all these jewels. He'll disseminate the light out. And Bezrat Hashem will bring the light of the Mashiach. Amen. Bezrat Hashem, I just hope that with this, we should be able to realize our importance, and we should be able to have all the blessings. Shabbat Shalom, Chodesh Tov. We should have a beautiful month of Iyar, which is a month of health and happiness. Bezrat Hashem, all the brachot. Kol Tuv B'Atzlacha. Shalom, Chodesh Tov.